A 16-year-old boy is sitting at the dinner table. His father is talking. The boy is looking at his phone. The father says, "Put the phone down." The boy says, okay, but does not put it down. The father feels disrespected. The boy feels controlled. Both of them are right, and both of them are wrong. This is not a story about a bad son. This is a story about two people who were never taught how to understand each other. Every generation says the same thing about the next one. They are rude, they don't listen, they have no values. The ancient Greeks wrote this, the Romans wrote this. Your grandparents said this about your parents. And now your parents are saying it about Gen Z. But something is different this time. 2023 study found that 67% of parents in India feel their children do not respect them the way they respected their own parents. 67%! That is not a small number. And at the same time, a different survey found that 71% of Gen Z feel their parents do not respect their opinions or their choices. 71%. So we have a situation where almost everyone feels disrespected by the other side. That is not a respect problem. That is a communication problem, and it has been building for 30 years. Let's talk about the parents first. Most parents grew up in a world where respect meant one thing. You listen, you don't question, you do what you were told. This is not because they were bad people. This is because that system worked for that world. In a world where your father knew more than you, where experience was the only teacher, where the village elder had seen things you had not, obedience made sense. But that world is gone. Today, a 15-year-old can know more about climate science, mental health, or technology than their 50-year-old parent. Information is no longer controlled by age. And when parents still demand silence from children who know things, children stop talking. Not out of disrespect, out of frustration. There is a difference between a child who does not respect you and a child who has stopped trying to explain themselves to you. Most parents were experiencing the second one and calling it the first one. Let's talk about Gen Z. And this part is uncomfortable because the internet has taught Gen Z something dangerous. It taught them that every feeling is valid. Every boundary must be respected. Every relationship must feel good, or it must be cut off. This works with friends, with strangers on. It doesn't work with family. Family is not a relationship you chose. It is a relationship you were born into. And the people in it, your parents, were human beings before they were your parents. They made mistakes. They had their own wounds. They were raised by people who also never taught them how to communicate. But Gen Z often looks at those wounds and says, "That is your problem, not mine," and walks away. That is not mental health. That is avoidance. There is a difference between protecting your peace and abandoning people who genuinely love you, even if they love you badly. Most of Gen Z has not learned that difference yet. Here is the real reason this is happening. For the first time in human history, a generation grew up in a completely different information environment than their parents. Your parents grew up without the internet. You grew up inside it. This means you and your parents did not just have different experiences, you had different realities.
Family comes first. Sacrifice is love. Silence is respect. Your reality said, your feelings matter. Boundaries are healthy. You don't owe anyone your peace. Both of these things are true. But neither side has sat down and explained their reality to the other. Parents assumed their children would understand. Children assumed their parents would adapt. Nobody talked. And silence on both sides became distance. Psychologists call this the attribution error. When someone hurts us, we assume they meant to.
When we hurt someone, we say we didn't mean it. Your father, who shouts, thinks he is being passionate. You, who go silent, think you are protecting yourself. Both of you are hurting each other. Neither of you is a villain. There is no quick fix here, but there is a direction. For parents, respect is not given because of age. It is earned through trust. If you want your child to listen to you, you have to first make them feel heard. Not agreed with, just heard. There is a difference. For Gen Z, your parents are not your enemy. They are people who grew up in fear.
Fear of poverty, fear of failure, fear of what society would say. That fear made them controlling. That fear made them loud. But underneath that fear, most of them would do anything for you. You don't have to agree with how they love you, but you have to at least try to understand why they love you the way they do. The generation gap will not close by itself. Someone has to take the first step, and usually it has to be the one who understands more.
That boy at the dinner table and his father, they are not enemies. They are two people standing on opposite sides of the biggest cultural shift in human history. Neither of them asked for this. Neither of them was prepared for it. The father was never taught how to listen. The son was never taught how to stay. And nobody told either of them that the other one was trying. Now you know. What you do with that is up to you.